Hey everyone, it is me Miranda and I am back today to do a coloring book haul for you guys. These are kind of books that I've accumulated from the past 2 months. Well, really the past month, but yeah. So let me clear my little workspace here and I'll get into showing you everything that I got. Okay, so the first two books that I have are going to be from Amazon. The first book that I'm going to show you is a Creepy Cute Critters Kawaii coloring book. This is what the back looks like. Here's the ISBN if you need it. And then I believe it says, yes, it is from Zen Press. There's a little blurb here. And then they kind of combine This Book Belongs To little area with their copyright stuff, which is okay. And then they gave you more tips for coloring in their book. And then they give you a test coloring page, which I really appreciate when books do that. I also love how on this test coloring page they give you black squares and how they give you printed squares so you can see if the medium that you're choosing is going to smear the ink in their books, which I'm guessing it won't, because even when books are printed on Amazon paper, they don't tend to really smear the inks, which is a really good thing. And then in like all of my haul videos, I'm not going to do complete flip throughs of every book just to save time for the haul. But if you do want to see a complete flip through of one of the books, just let me know. I am going to do a complete flip through of this book on my channel, so if you're interested, watch out for that. But this book has black backed pages, and your images aren't necessarily in a border, but it's kind of like an invisible border where they're not getting printed all the way into the binding. So that's really nice. And these images are just super cute. I really like it. So yeah, that was the first book. And then the second book that I got from Amazon is called Creepy Angelica, a coloring book for adults. This is by the Coloring Book Cafe, which I should have looked before I found this, but I'm not sure if Coloring Book Cafe is still on Amazon or if they were taken off and then put back on and now they're back on. I'm not too sure. I know Amazon has been doing that with some of the coloring book publishers or companies where they're taking them off, but I'm pretty sure Coloring Book Cafe is still on there. If I'm wrong, I'm so sorry. And then on the back of this book you get some thumbnails. This is by The Fruitful Mind. And here is the ISBN if you need it. And then, let's see. You get a nice little cover page here. There's a pretty big blurb here. A coloring book for adults featuring the eccentric adventures of a creepy girl with dark and humorous fantasy-inspired designs. And then they give you more of their Coloring Book Cafe kind of rights and all that. Then you get your This Book Belongs To page. And then in this book they give you thumbnails of each page within the first part of the book, which is really nice. I like that because if you're not sure how color palette will work, you can kind of roughly lay it out and see if it'll work without actually having to do the whole image. But these pages are one-sided with white backed pages, and they do have a border around all of the images, so throughout the whole book they're not going into the binding. Really just cute images. Some of them have more shading on some of the pages than others do, but pretty much in every page the little Angelica girl here has shading on her. And then in the back they do give you a color chart where you can test out your colors or your mediums to see how they work on that book. And yeah, that is that book. And then the next book that I have to show you is actually the next two books are going to be from the Dollar Tree. I don't think you can get these anywhere else that I know of, but these are the designer series by, oops, let me get that in frame here. Designer series by Kappa Advanced Activity. This is the challenging color by number, and it actually has like gold foiling on the front of it. And then it does give you like a little color palette idea back here, but the colors are very general. They don't have like yellow and dark yellow, they just have a yellow. So that's kind of nice for these books. They're very simple. Whoops. And then here's the Kappa Books publishing information. Like I said, I don't think that you can buy these anywhere else. There's a bit more about the publisher's information. So these books are perforated, but they are also double-sided. And if you've never colored in one of these books before, these books are on like newspaper printed paper, so it's very thin, but the ink also is going to transfer. So if I'm coloring this page, wherever I'm putting pressure, the ink from these two pages is going to transfer to one another. What I normally do is just stick a copy paper like I normally would if I'm not wanting a page to bleed onto the next. But what it does in this book is to keep your inks from bleeding onto each other or transferring onto each other. If it's that big of a deal too, what you could do is just copy this image and print it out on different paper. But they're so inexpensive. This was only $1.25, so I just kind of take it for what it is. I'll probably just stick to colored pencil in this. I don't have plans to really use markers because, yeah, I don't really have that plan. But also if you do use markers on this paper, it's definitely going to ruin the other side no matter what kind of markers you're using. But yeah, they do have these nice borders, and again, they are perforated, and then they give you a little chart or key down here for what color everything should be. So just something cute and simple that I picked up. And then the other one that I picked up while I was there was this Tropical Scenes to color. This is also by Kappa Adult Coloring. You can see it there. Designer series. And it is the same Kappa book publishers and the same publishing information. But this one is just same concept where your pictures are in a border and they all have this perforation so you can tear them out, which is really nice. But it is the same paper, like newspaper style. I don't mind these at all. They're just something cheap and little that I like to pick up every once in a while just to play around with. And then, you know, if you're trying something new, it also doesn't matter because it's not an expensive book. You can kind of alleviate some of that stress on yourself. Or if you have a kid and maybe you both want to do like a buddy color, you can pick up more than one copy of these books because they're so cheap. $1.25 for a coloring book is really good. So you can pick up more than one copy for either you and your kid or your friend or whoever, or if you just want 2 copies so that maybe you color all the left-sided pages in one book and all the right-sided pages in the other book, and you don't have to worry about your color bleed-throughs or something. You can do that. Okay, and then the rest of what I have to show you is going to be from bookoutlet.com. They were running a really big sale this past month, June, and all of their books were 25% off, I believe, site-wide. So a lot of these books were super cheap, and I've been eyeballing them for a while. So Some of them I haven't seen on coloring or bookoutlet.com before, so I just kind of picked up what I wanted, and I didn't even spend that much money. So with bookoutlet.com though, your books are going to have a marking on the binding, and sometimes they're not in a perfect condition, obviously because it's coming from like a outlet, you know, but for the most part, all of my coloring books I've ever bought from them have been in really good shape. So this one is Tiny Worlds. It says it is an artist coloring book of mesmerizing miniatures and uncanny universes. This is illustrated by Matt Edwards. I did see this on Amazon, so I know that you can pick it up there too. A little bit more information about the illustrator and about the book itself, and then here's the ISBN number if you need it. And then it is by Castle Point Books. This is a pretty big coloring book. I believe it said there was 60. Yes, it says there are 60 illustrations in this book. So it is a pretty hefty little book here. Let's see. You get kind of the title page, then all of the copyright information, and then another title page with some illustration on it. So that does go into the binding and onto the next page, as you can see. But this book is one-sided. It is perforated. Your pages are perforated. It does have a border around each image, and then they also named each image, which is super cute. So again, I'm just going to do a quick flip through this book so that you guys can kind of get the general feel of it. And then I think I'm going to do a full flip through of this book as well. I don't believe, yeah, they don't have a color test page in this one, but that's okay. There's just so many cute little images. I really can't wait to color in this one. So that is Tiny Worlds. The next book that I picked up is the Mythographic Color and Discover. This is the Paradise, and this is illustrated by Fabiana Attanasio. Yeah, I really wanted this book this summer. Oh, sorry about that, guys. I really wanted this book this summer, and then it was on Book Outlet for pretty cheap. So again, this is a Castle Point book. Here is the ISBN if you need it. And then here's a little blurb about the illustrator and a little bit more about the coloring book itself. And in these books, they do have the hidden objects. So in the back is the key, but I'm not going to look at those because I don't like to see those myself. So I won't be showing you that. Here's your title page. And then it jumps right into the book. So these again have borders on them, a pretty nice border, so you're not anywhere near the binding. And they also have perforation here so that you can tear your pages out. Again, I'm just going to do a really quick flip through this book. It's a really beautiful book. I'm so excited that I picked it up. I absolutely love this page with the flamingos. It's very beautiful, very happy. And this one does not have any markings on the bindings, so that is really nice. Okay, and then the next book that I picked up is Zen Doodle Coloring presents Birds in the Forest, an artist coloring book. And this is by, I think it's Denise Collette. I could be pronouncing her name totally wrong, and if I am, I'm so sorry. But this is another Castle Point Books. This is the ISBN if you need it. And here they also give you a little bit about the illustrator and a little bit about the book. You also get 60 images in this, which is really nice. I do have her gnomes coloring book, but that was the only one. So I really wanted the birds because I'm actually not a bird, like a big bird coloring person or animal coloring person, just because I want to make them look realistic. I'm not that great at realistic coloring. I tend to stick towards kawaii, cutesy, cartoony, you know, more animals. And her birds just have so much sass and so much, like, they're just so cute, and they really are like cartoony. So I really appreciate her books. Getting ahead of myself trying to flip through the book already, but you get a title page, which is illustrated, super cute. And then we're gonna give you all of the publisher's information, and then your This Book Belongs To with a cute little illustration on it. And then you go right into the images themselves. These do go straight into the binding. So that is my only qualm with these books. But if that's my only issue, you know, that's pretty good. They are one-sided, so if you wanted to use, you know, whatever, you don't have to worry about messing up a page on the back or anything. And yeah, you get a lot of images. The paper is very nice in these books. It's very thick. So I haven't used watercolors in any of her books yet, but I have a feeling I might, because I like to do watercolors for the backgrounds. So cute. But yeah, I'm going to try that out. I don't feel like the watercolors will really warp these pages as much as maybe some of the other paper, but yeah, that is that book. And then sticking with the same illustrator, I also got the Zen Doodle Color Presents Fairies in Dreamland, because like I said, I only had the gnomes. I can absolutely not remember what channel I saw this book on, but she was doing such an amazing job in this book, and she was actually using I don't know if they were gel pens or like paints, but they were like metallics, and she was either using them on the fairies or around the fairies to really highlight them and bring them out. And I just thought that was so amazing that she thought to do that. So again, give you a little bit about the book and about the artist. This is St. Martin's Griffin, and it has the ISBN again if you need it. I do know that these books can be purchased on Amazon, or you can purchase them on Book Outlet if they have any copies left. And then there is gold foiling in this cover. So then again, you are getting your cover page with an illustration, your title page, and then it gives you all the publishing's information and your This Book Belongs To with a cute little illustration as well. These books are very detailed, very tiny. So as you can see, fine liners would be really good for this, or just, I plan on using mostly colored pencil in this, but maybe some fine liners as well. Yeah, but they are the same kind of concept. No real border on the pages, but they are single-sided, so that is very nice. Same paper as the other books of hers. Just very, very detailed. And I won't do a full flip. I know that this book has been around for a while. I believe the fairies book was her first one, and the birds one is her newest one, with the gnomes being right smack dab in between, I believe. So I'm sure that there are other flip throughs of this book. But yeah, like this page, it's gonna take me a while, but I don't even care because it's so cute. Alright, and then the next coloring book that I picked up was actually the Crash Bandicoot adult coloring book. This is by Activision. Let's see what it says. It has 40 pages in here. Well, 40 illustrations. And then here is the little ISBN. So I used to play Crash Bandicoot when I was very young. It was one of my brother and I's favorite games to play. We had a couple friends that would play games with us. And my parents didn't let us play games for long periods of time. We were only allowed to play them, you know, at night or whatever. We were outside people, just outside during most of the day and played around. And we had a lot of friends in our neighborhood, so that was nice. But Crash Bandicoot was kind of like the game that we all played whenever we did get a chance to play games. And I saw this book a couple times and I was like, I don't know if I want to buy it or not, but it was on sale really cheap, and I was like, you know what, why not? Because it's kind of nostalgic. And here's all of the publishing information, ISBN again. So they're giving you a couple full-paged, kind of like magazine glossy pages with all the colors, kind of like images from the game. And then it jumps right into the coloring book here. So there's like a title page. And then they do have, I don't think there's many that are landscape. Most of them are portrait. But they are kind of detailed, as you can see. But the nice thing about this book is that they're one-sided. So if you wanted to map out a lot of your colors with maybe some markers or whatnot, you wouldn't have to worry about messing up the back of the pages. But it's very cute. Just a lot of images from the games to color. And then the next book that I picked up was Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, a magical creatures coloring book. I'm not a big Fantastic Beasts person, but I do like the little critters. I haven't watched all of the movies. I think I just watched the first one. So this is by Harper Designs and WB, and it is J.K. Rowling's Wizarding World. And then there is the ISBN. I know that you can buy these on Amazon, on obviously Book Outlet if they have any copies left. I've seen them multiple places. I'm trying to think of the other places that I've saw them. But you get some colored images on the front and back panel of the book. And these images, some of them are a double page layout, and the images do go down into the binding. Most of them are just one-sided, the one-page spreads. You do get some of like the wallpaper styles in this book. If you have the other Harry Potter coloring books, it's a lot like that. I was kind of expecting more of just the creatures in this book, but it does have a lot of the characters from Fantastic Beasts in it as well. But that's okay. Let me see. Oh, here is the publisher's information in case you were interested. So yes, and then they give you a little blurb about the story or whatever. And then finally, I don't know what the big sticker on this book really means, but they put a big sticker on this book, which is fine. And it does have a mark on the... I forgot to tell you if these books had marks on them. Most of them didn't. My Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them did. But it doesn't bother me because they never really mess with the images on the inside. So I've even had a book come where the cover was ripped, but all the images inside were fine. So it's not that big of a deal to me. But they did stick a big sticker on my cover of my book, but whatever. This is the reverse coloring book, and Kendra Norton is the illustrator of this. So I don't know if they tell you. Oh, 50 original works of art. So this is by Workman Publishing, New York. There's the little ISBN if you need them. I do know that you can pick this book up elsewhere. So the reverse coloring book, then you get your little publishing information. You get a little note from the illustrator. Then you get an example of really everything that you could add or do to these pages if you need some ideas. And then they just start right into the images. So again, if you haven't heard, the idea behind a reverse coloring book is really that they give you the colors and you draw the line work to go with that. Yeah, so they are single-sided. It is a perforated book. There are no borders, but the images are not going, the color part of the image is not going into the binding. I don't know, however you decide to draw around the coloring, you might need more space, but there are, sorry about her, there are just a whole bunch of watercolor images in this book, which I think I'm gonna try this book and see how it goes, but also it kind of gives me the idea or the want or the push to kind of try maybe laying down my own watercolors and then doing this. So but I'm really happy with this book, so we'll see how that goes. And then the last coloring book that I picked up is this I Love Elves. I actually saw this last year, I believe, and I think they have a couple in this same line where it was like I don't remember, it was all winter themed though, but it's I Love Elves, Fall in Love with Elves. Here is the little ISBN barcode. It is Sterling Children's Books Publishing. It is quite a small book. It is really thick. The the book itself is very thick and sturdy, and then the pages in here are pretty thick as well. So here is all of the publisher's information, and then it jumps right into the book itself. So the book itself, let me open this all the way up. Okay, the images themselves are one-sided, and then they do have this like you know, wallpaper background on them, so you don't have to worry if you want to use markers or something that might bleed through the page. It's not gonna get on your next page, or there isn't another page on the back of it to ruin, but it's very just cute and simple little pictures of all sorts of like elves just doing whatever elves do. I think all of these backgrounds are different too on each page, so I mean they repeat a little bit, like they're repeated, but they are different. So I think like this is cute enough that I just want to color this wallpaper background. But most of the images are kept like within a kind of invisible border. Who has never failed a client, but her oath will test her skills and resolve to get them all out alive. And then it does give a little bit about Charlene Harris and some other people's opinions. Sorry, I'm not very good with names, but when you're reading a book, You kind of just make them what you want, right? Yeah, so these were all the books that I bought for June. I hope you guys enjoyed my little haul. And again, I will be showing you some of these books in flip throughs of their own for some of these coloring books. And if there's one that you want to see that I don't film a flip through for, just let me know. Or if you have any of these books, let me know as well. And I will see you guys next time. Bye!